position, the better off you'll be. Now, as part of the if-then play calling, I should say, hopefully that answers the question. If not, throw it in the chat. Or if anyone else has questions, throw it in the chat. If-then play calling. So everything in this offense, it's the thing that originally made me fall in love with it, is that for every situation, for everything that the defense is trying to do, we as an offense have an answer for it. So this is not Paul Johnson's if-then sheet. If you haven't gone to the Football is Life blog, I put the URL at the top. I might throw it in the description if I remember. But this is his if-then sheet that I've used and kind of learned from. If you go to the URL itself, he has actual reasons as to why each of these things makes sense. So the idea being, so for formations at a really basic level, and this is what we were talking about a little earlier with the 4-4, if they're an 8-man front, you run over. Put those two X's on the same side and see how the defense reacts. Because there's only so many things you can do, and then based on that, you can always put yourself in a good play. Another good example of that is versus the odd stack. You see this at the high school level a lot, obviously 3-3 stack or 3-5, depending on whatever you call it. But if they're 3 linemen have 3 linebackers right behind them at a base stack, running tackles so that you actually declare a strength and create an extra gap forces them to either have to adjust or they have to leave a gap open. Then the trick is to find where that gap is. So we talked about this a little bit last time. So the if, some of them are how the defense is aligned. Some of them is how they stopped the play previously. So I like to think about this that I want to run triple every play. And if I'm getting 4 or 5 yards of play, I'm going to keep running triple all the way down the field. Now, what gets me out of triple is if they have a 2 or a 3 technique to the play side. All right, then I'm going to run midline because that's where the bubble is. If you see how the defense is taking away your triple, right? If the handoff key turns his shoulders, if the pitch key is turning his shoulders, if you see that they're doing sky cloud force, some people might call that rolling coverage. If you see quarter, half, that the defense is cheating to the side that you're motioning towards. And essentially, this is one example of an if-then sheet. Sometimes it works really well, especially if you have a staff with guys who are in the booth who are watching certain things to tell you exactly what happened on the play before. So sometimes it's the actual rules that coaches go through. Other times it's more like the pirate code, more like guidelines, so that if you're like, shoot, I keep getting beat because of X, this is your next answer. And the idea is hopefully that answer keeps working until the defense has to adjust to that, and then you go back to running triple. So that's the basis of the if-then play calling. Again, hopefully that makes sense. So moving right along.